All right, Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube. And you know, I'm doing a series on consumer direct bikes. And of course, you know, I've got a Canyon right here. Canyon's probably one of the most famous consumer direct bikes in the world. It's actually my competition. And you know, they make good bikes, but they are just that. You buy these straight from Canyon and you skip the bicycle shop. Now, in the end, that's a little bit of a problem when you need a hands-on service and you don't have a bicycle shop that's willing to work on a Canyon. Of course, you know, I am a bicycle repair facility and we want the work, so I'm not gonna turn down Canyon work. I actually think Canyons are, most of them are a pretty good brand. Just like any brands, there's some weird things that have gone on with Canyon. But they're hard to beat the price for the parts spec, but where you lose out on is having local support. I just had an interaction with the customer that owns this Canyon here. This is a Grail AL. So this bike's a little bit older and it needed maintenance. So this bike did not fail. The bottom bracket ended up failing on her. But you know, there's been a lot of miles on this bike, and of course I don't think this customer understood bike maintenance at all. So the bottom bracket had to be replaced, chained, cables, just stuff that happens on a bike, and that's not Canyon's fault. You know, bicycles need maintenance, and I want people to know if you buy a Canyon, you can bring it to Biloxi Bicycle Works, and we'd be glad to do the maintenance. But where this customer had a little bit of a disconnect was they weren't sure why we were giving them a bill that we should give that to Canyon. That's a bit ignorant, but I had to explain to that customer that, you know, this bike, we don't sell this bike, so this bike's not under warranty with us. And as far as I know, the warranty period is over on this bike, and she wanted to look up the warranty. I said, look, I'm not a Canyon dealer. It's not my job to look up the warranty on your bike. And it was kind of a weird interaction, and that's what prompted me to do this video. And it's kind of a timely manner because I'm doing a video series on consumer direct bikes. This is, like I said, you buy this directly from Canyon and they ship it to you. And then I looked at their website. Their website says that, you know, if there's a warranty or service problem, that you can bring it by an authorized service center. I'm in Biloxi, Mississippi. I didn't see an authorized service center in Louisiana, which is the neighboring state, the whole state of Mississippi, or the state of Alabama. So that's our region right there, and there's no authorized service center. So that means you have to bring it by your local bike shop. That's where your local bike shop is important. I don't think people are gonna buy these if they don't have the safety net of their local bike shop. But just know, when you do bring it by your local bike shop, I've gotta charge you. I can't charge Canyon, so that means you've gotta pay my bill. Bike shops aren't making a ton of money right now, so I'm happy to have the scraps. You know, I'm happy to get the work. To be honest, at my bike shop, we charge $75 per hour for labor. That's very, very low compared to most bike shops. That's low compared to, you can't go get your car worked on for $75 an hour, a motorcycle, boat. You know, your yard man charges you more than $75 an hour. He's got to pay his crew. And that's just it. I'm not putting $75 in my pocket for an hour. I've got overhead and labor. I've got to pay the mechanics, so that gets whittled down really quick. I'm probably going to have to go up on my $75 an hour price, but right now that's where we're at. And this bike, for the labor we did in it, was an honest, you know, 2+ hours job. So I think the bill was just under $200. So actually we charged a little bit less than $75 for this job, but the customer left kind of mad and left their bike with me because we were going to charge them money for it. So I think that's a little bit of an extreme case of a customer having a disconnect on how this works when you buy a direct consumer model. But just know, if you are in an area like we are, where there's a dead zone for Canyon authorized service departments, and there's no dealers. There's no dealers in the United States. I think there's one factory store. I could be wrong. I think there's one factory store in California. But when you buy these bikes, be ready to get charged by your bike shop mechanic to fix them, and just because we've got to pay our bills. Now, I know there's a lot of buzz in the bike industry right now about us not even working, the bike shop's not even working on Canyon bikes, because, you know, they're undercutting our business, and eventually where bike shops aren't going to be around. I can't compete with Canyon a lot of times in price. I can compete with them in service after the sale. We are a Trek dealer. I think Trek makes an awesome product. This is my personal bike. I gravel ride on and I ride back and forth to work. If a customer of mine walks in and buys this bike and then has a problem, they just drop it off in my shop and I fix it. If it's under warranty, I deal with Trek on the warranty side, and Trek is awesome to deal with. They do what they say they're gonna do. I'm proud to sell Trek. Anyway, it's not the same for consumer direct. So there's bike shops boycotting that because we just don't want to have Canyon put us out of business. So if we all just boycott working on Canyons, people aren't gonna buy Canyons. I don't want to be that extreme, and I need the work right now, so I'm happy to take Canyon scraps, but I'm also not going to take a shaft up my butt. So we had to do we didn't have to, we chose to do a Canyon warranty job for a customer. It was on one of their e-mountain bikes, and of course you needed new brake cables, and it was an integrated brake system where the brake cable went through the head tube. So we had to, cut and rebleed the brakes and all that. It's not a big deal when you have, the right stuff, and I do have the right tools. So you could look at my tool benches in here. I'm full of bicycle tools, and all this stuff costs me money. And this is the light bench. This is just a little bench in our service center, in our I should say showroom. You should see the benches in my service center next door. They're fully equipped, so we can get the job done quicker than someone in their garage, but I still have to charge for that job. So when we charged that customer for, I believe it was about 4 hours labor to rerun everything we had to rerun, that customer paid us, and I don't know if Canyon paid that customer back or what. It's a brand new bike, so it should have been under warranty. I can't file a Canyon warranty claim, so I will work on a Canyon bike, and I'll do my best work on it because I want my service center to have an awesome reputation. So I'm not gonna, I'm gonna work as hard on a Canyon bike as I'm gonna work on any bike, because that's my reputation. But a lot of bike shops are choosing just not to work on Canyon bikes at all, or not even specifically Canyon, but consumer direct bikes, because without the bike shop, without real bike mechanics with real tools, people are gonna stop buying consumer direct bikes, and then they're going to come back to the bike shop and start supporting us so we can stay alive and keep this industry alive. So this was just a quick video on the situation with this Canyon, and I do think this is an extreme case where there was just a disconnect from the customer of how the internet-based bikes or consumer direct-based bikes work when you have to actually get hands-on service. And I've been to the Canyon website. They offer a great warranty and offer you a lot of stuff, but how do they really fulfill that in an area like Mississippi where there's not an authorized service center? People want to be able to drop their bikes off at a bike shop. My bike shop from this person's house is less than 10 miles, so they know they can drop it off at the bike shop, and I'll fix their bikes and get it back to them. It's just I can't do it for free. So just remember that when you have a consumer direct bike, please be kind to your bike mechanics when you're dropping them off, because we don't have to fix these bikes. We can say no, and if every bike shop starts saying no to direct consumer brands, Canyon's going to have a hard time selling their bikes, which would actually benefit me, because then people are going to come back into a bike shop. My market is flooded with Canyons right now. My service center actually right now has quite a few Canyons in it. And I'm not saying Canyon's a bad bike. I just actually told a customer to buy a Canyon bike because I couldn't compete with the price point of the bike he was looking at. And I had to say, look, nothing I have is that inexpensive for the part spec. So I think Canyon's, speccing their bikes out good, but they do fall short. Consumer direct bikes are falling short on the actual service of the bike afterwards, when someone actually, a professional has to touch that bike. And when I was looking at their website a little bit ago, it did say that you can void your warranty if it's not done by a professional bicycle mechanic. And I see why, because I do try to help the do-it-yourselfers, and I see what do-it-yourselfers do to their bikes. So just know, support your local bike shop, buy where you ride. Trek has some really good products. I also sell Cannondale. I sell several other. I'm an IBD, independent bicycle dealer. I don't sell everything under the sun, and I can't sell Canyon. If Canyon wants to start supporting bike shops, my little bike shop's called Biloxi Bike Works. Biloxi Mississippi, right there. We are a real bike shop, and this is just a quick video on what bicycle shop mechanics, a bicycle shop owner has to deal with. Running a brick and mortar costs a lot of money. That $75 gets whittled away really quick when I have to pay workman's comp, when I have to pay, you know, insurance, when I give to the local softball team and stuff, you know, we're the ones throwing the local rides. You know, I don't think Canyon's doing anything for our local community. So think about that kind of stuff when you're, you know, just looking at overall price point. You're going to pay now or you're going to pay later, or you're not going to have this industry. Is there any more TV repairmen? No, TVs are disposable, and they're starting to make bikes disposable as well, because if, you know, professional bicycle repairmen stop working on internet-based bikes or consumer direct bikes, you guys are going to stop buying consumer direct bikes, and we're going to force you to come back into the bike shop. And, you know, I love my customers. I love bicycle riding. We're going to ride with our community, so I don't want to say force anybody to do anything. Ride by choice. I think bicycles make the world a better place, and I think every neighborhood should have, or every community should have, a local bike shop. This is a place of fun. This is where people meet. This is where people find health and fitness and cool friends. This is where visitors come to find what's really going on in Biloxi. So Biloxi has awesome places to ride bike. If you're in Biloxi, stop by 993 Howard Avenue. My name is Bart Luther, aka The Bicycle Rider, on YouTube. If you like what we do here on this channel, just like and subscribe. It helps me make these little videos. So I gotta get back to working on bikes. But just a quick little rant on consumer direct bikes and what a real bike shop has to deal with when we're dealing with consumer direct bikes. So, buy where you ride, or you won't have a local bike shop, and you can't bring these things back to the department store to get them fixed. And you can't ship them back to Canyon. You know, Canyon's overseas, or I don't know where you would ship these things back for. But think of the green planet, and all of a sudden you can't drive 10 miles and drop your bike off, and you've got to package these things up and ship them out, all the transportation fuel. You're not being really kind to the planet. So that's a whole another video that I can do as well. So support local, and you'll be a much happier place with a bike shop in your community. All right, Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, over and out.